I hear you, man.
First question, with this new album, how did you manage to get Chris Daughtry and Mark Tremonti on the album?
Miles from Alter Bridge. Well, actually, Daughtry, we found out, was a fan of the band for years, and same as the guys with Alter Bridge. We when Svendust first started out, we were touring with the band Creed, and those guys have always been friends, and we've always, talked and worked together and always hung out and been friends. And for the first time, we were able to make the calls and who we wanted to come in by owning our own label now. And it was really cool because these were friends, and it was a real laid back, and there was no pressure on this album.
That's good. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And sorry. You want to finish up? Sorry about that.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, my phone. I'm at the grocery store. I'm sorry, man.
All right. Okay, so basically, from what I read about with Chris Daughtry, he was just in a Florida show, and he was sitting outside your tour bus, and he was just sitting there, and you realized that that was him, eh?
Well, actually, we played with Daughtry at a big show in Florida, and he had come on the bus several times, but through phone calls and people, in the business and through our organization, we always knew that we wanted to meet and talk, and then this one day we actually got to meet. I remember being in the bunk and Morgan Rose coming and telling me, like, man, Chris Daughtry's up in the front lounge. He wants to meet you. And I said, well, tell him to come back when I get up. And it was just exciting that we were both and all excited about meeting. And then we just started a friendship from there. And I guess within a year later, we decided that it would be really cool if we got together and did a song, and we talked about it forever, and we were able to do it.
Right on. Now, with the title "Hope and Sorrow," what's it basically mean? I mean, as a band.
Again?
Sorry, the title "Hope and Sorrow." What does the title mean?
I think the story of our lives. The story of anyone's life. You always have hope, and then you always have sorrow.
Yeah.
And I think that it describes the downfalls and the good side of Svendust, but in the end and in the big picture, there's always hope. And I feel, honestly, that's what happens with this band and what has happened with our lives. And there's always something bright at the end of the tunnel. So.
Right. Well, let me ask you the second part of that question is, as a band, would you say you're more hopeful, or are you full of more sorrow as a band?
I think more hopeful. I think definitely more hopeful. Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, you can imagine still being able to put out a seventh album in the industry that is, the way it is in the business today is a pleasure and a blessing within itself. So I think there's definitely hope for whatever avenue that we're going down, and we're real excited about it.
Okay. Now, with your previous label of TVT, are you sad to see the label close its doors?
What do you mean, TVT?
Yeah, TVT. I mean, I don't know if you know, but they've announced that they'll be pretty well shutting everything down. That was announced about 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh, TVT Records is shutting down?
Yeah, from what I understand, yeah.
I had no idea. I kind of heard something, but I didn't know exactly what was going on. So you just confirmed that, and I think that's I don't that's not a good thing, because I tell you what, TVT, even though we left that label, they put us on the map. And without TVT, we wouldn't have gold albums on our wall. Yeah. So it was definitely it was a helpful thing. But I think with anything, you change jobs, and we changed record labels. And I think that's what, we did. We kind of grew away from what was going on there. But without a doubt, I think that's a sad day that they closed, because they definitely made a mark in the music industry by being the biggest independent label that there was out there. So,
right.
Right. So I definitely, I feel that's bad.
Now, pretty well lyrically though, when you write your lyrics, are you obviously looking into your inner self and probably doing a lot of self retrospect? Is that now an important factor for Svendust?
Well, it's an important factor, not only for me to write that way, but for us all to express how we feel. Because I always say that it would be ridiculous for everything to come from one person's point of view, when we all are grown men going through life and ups and downs and experiencing new life and loss. And so, it's a great writing process, because we all write together, and we definitely pull within, things that go on in our lives ourselves. So, yeah, that's right.
Now, would you say this is a good way for, obviously, to connect with your fans?
Say again?
Would you say this is one of the best ways to connect with your fans?
Oh, yeah, definitely, because we can only write about things that happen to us, and we're no different than anyone else, but we just happen to have a vehicle to be able to perform around the world and share our music, but definitely our everyday situations between our families and our kids and everything like that. That's what we write about. We write about things like that, so I definitely think that that's the way to do it, to relate to everyone around the world.
Okay. Now, with this new album, obviously you're saying that the new album's full of a lot of experimentation. If there was no real budget constraints, what sort of things would you like to do?
Go to Hawaii, record the album, by the water. I think, honestly, things like that, if that's what you were meaning by the budget. But as far as music for me, as long as you give me a place where I can zone out and get into it, then it's going to come out because it's all in there, So yeah. I don't really have to have $1 million to do an album. I just have to have the right inspiration,
Okay.
So we could do an album for $10 and pour our whole soul in it. Like I always say, I don't think you have to have the best voice in the world or be the best player, but as long as you have conviction,
right,
you have meaning,
yeah,
then it's going to come across, and it's worth $1 million, even if you spend $5 making it.
Okay. Now, also going back to this experimentation, was it one of the harder albums to do? And also,
no, not. To answer that question right out of the gate, this is one of the easiest albums to do because we don't have any